Welcome to the deep dive. We're your shortcut to, well, getting a handle on the technologies really shaping our world.
Mhm.
And today we're plunging into a space where technology isn't just, a tool anymore. It's becoming almost an extension of us.
Yeah, it's fundamentally reshaping what it means to be human, isn't it?
Yeah,
Especially in this digital landscape that's just evolving so fast.
absolutely. So our mission today really is to unpack these augmentation technologies.
Right. And try to understand how AI is sort of driving their emergence.
And we also want to explore this fascinating idea of agency. What does it mean to act or have agency in a world we're increasingly sharing with, well, non-human thing?
It's a big topic.
Hmm.
And we're drawing insights from some really compelling sources. There's a key chapter, Agency, Affordances, and Enculturation of Augmentation Technologies by Anne Hilduin and Isabel Peterson.
Okay.
And we've also got some other great articles and reports to help us, shed light on this pretty complex subject.
Great. So let's start with the basics, maybe. What exactly are augmentation technologies? Because I think people might picture like smart glasses or maybe advanced prosthetics.
Yeah, those are definitely part of it. But it's broader. We're talking about technologies designed to fundamentally enhance human capabilities or productivity, often by adding directly to the body.
Ah, so it's moving beyond just using tools.
Exactly, to tools kind of becoming an extension of ourselves.
Okay. And you mentioned AI is a big driver here, the AI wave, right? Or the AI boom.
That's the term WIPO, the World Intellectual Property Organization uses.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a critical factor. But, one of the big challenges, and you've probably seen this, is just how ambiguous the term AI is in like everyday conversation.
Totally. It gets thrown around for everything.
Right. It's often just a buzzword. So WIPO actually has this really helpful categorization scheme to bring some clarity.
Okay. How does that work?
Well, they break it down into a hierarchy. First up, you've got AI techniques.
Right. The nuts and bolts.
Exactly. These are the underlying advanced statistical mathematical models.
Okay.
Things like machine learning, fuzzy logic, expert systems, the stuff that performs tasks humans usually do. They're the technical means to build AI functions.
Got it. Techniques. What's next?
Then, building on those techniques, you have AI functional applications.
Okay.
These are the specific functions you get by using one or more of those techniques. Think speech processing or predictive analytics.
Or computer vision.
Precisely. And computer vision is a great example because that's exactly what makes augmented reality, so much more sophisticated now.
Okay. So techniques, functional applications.
Mhm.
What's the top level?
That's AI application fields.
Okay.
This is basically where all that tech finds its real-world use across tons of disciplines, transportation, farming, medicine, you name it.
Right.
And what's really key here is how these categories stack up.
Yeah.
Like a technique like machine learning might power a functional application like real-time speech processing.
Which then becomes essential for a whole field, like maybe building networks.
Exactly. Which then constitutes things like the Internet of Things or smart cities or even social networks. It's not just about labeling things. It's sort of the blueprint showing how these complex digital ecosystems are actually built layer by layer.
That hierarchy really does lay it bare. It shows how foundational AI is becoming. It makes you wonder, though, is this process of society adapting to this stuff, this enculturation, is it totally new? Or have we seen things like this before?
That's a great question. And maybe surprisingly, history gives us some really interesting parallels. Like, think about the bicycle craze back in the 1890s.
The bicycle crate. Right. Wasn't it Susan B. Anthony who said something amazing about that?
She did. In 1896, she said bicycling had done more for the emancipation of women than anything else in the world.
Wow. That's a powerful statement.
It really is. And the fascinating part is how women took hold of a technology that wasn't really designed for them initially.
Right. There was pushback, wasn't there? Concerns that it would unsex them or something.
Oh, absolutely. Lots of warnings from moral conservatives. But women just kept riding more and more. And in doing so, they actually shaped its cultural meaning. They even influenced the design manufacturers, started adding features that suited how women rode.
So they weren't just users, they were shapers.
Exactly. It really messes with the simple idea that technology just appears and we use it. The sociologist Andrew Pickering calls it a dance of agency.
A dance of agency. I like that. So the tech wasn't made for them, but they changed its meaning, even its form. That's a powerful example of users having agency over tech.
Mm-hmm.
And it totally foreshadows this enculturation we see now with augmentation tech. We adopt it, we adapt to it, often influenced by marketing.
Yeah.
But it's this dynamic back and forth relationship.
Absolutely.
But this dance of agency, this give and take, it feels like it gets more complicated now with AI. As AI gets smarter, starts making its own choices, acting in ways that feel almost intentional,
Yeah.
it pushes us to ask, what is agency when the line between human and machine gets so blurry?
That's the core question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Agency is usually defined as, the capacity to act or exert power. But it's really not that simple.
No, definitely not.
And different fields define it differently.
Yeah.
AI, sociology, history might talk about social agents, things that interact and influence.
Okay.
Political theory, feminist theory, often see agency as a tool for subjectivity, for expressing yourself, pushing back against power structures.
Right.
Philosophy might look at it as the relation of the self to itself. Thinkers like Michel Foucault tied agency directly to power relations.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Heidegger worried about how new tech impacts our very existence, our being in the world.
And Marshall McLuhan, he had that famous idea about technology extending our senses.
Right, but he also warned it could blind us to its deeper effects.
Mm-hmm.
That idea of tech as an extension feels incredibly relevant now.
It really does. But then there's Bruno Latour and his actor network theory, ANT. He took it even further, right?
He did. Latour argued that things, not just humans, can have agency. Not because they inherently possess it, but because of their position and interactions within a network.
So agency isn't just in the person or the thing, it emerges from the relationships between them.
Exactly. Everything's in these constantly shifting relationships, and agency comes out of those connections. And that perspective is so important now because AI, machine learning, chatbots, they're challenging that old idea that only humans have agency.
Yeah, these tools are showing increasingly complex agentic behaviors.
Totally.
I mean, you see robotic companions now that seem to read human emotions, or chatbots that people have genuine reactions to that help them make decisions or manage anxiety. They're acting in ways that feel, well, purposeful, almost like they have a will of their own.
Which leads us right into this really interesting concept from Neff and Nagy, symbiotic agency.
Symbiotic agency. Okay, what's that about?
It describes how we increasingly delegate tasks to augmentation technologies, treating them almost like personal assistants or even companions.
Right, like asking your smart speaker to do things or relying on an app for reminders.
Exactly. And symbiotic agency is described as a specific, quite pertinent form of proxy agency. It's where human agency and non-human agency get really tangled up, interdependent.
Okay, so there are benefits, obviously efficiency, maybe new capabilities.
Definitely. But this entanglement also brings risks, sometimes subtle ones, like if an AI is constantly curating your newsfeed.
Or even like suggesting how you should feel or respond.
Yeah, where does your own critical thinking or your emotional autonomy actually stop and the AI's influence start? It's a completely new kind of challenge for personal agency.
It really is.
And this dynamic, it fundamentally blurs any clear lines between what we do and what the technologies do. They learn, they adapt, they actively shape how we interact. It leads to these increasingly intimate relationships.
Yeah, and that intimacy can sometimes be unsettling. We've all heard of the uncanny valley effect, right?
Oh, yeah. That weird feeling when a robot or an avatar looks almost human, but just not quite right. It triggers this unease.
It's creepy.
It is. And then there's the very real risk of what they call parasitic relationships, where users start to feel addicted to or even controlled by technologies that have become essential to them.
That definitely makes you pause. That line between a helpful tool and something that might subtly start dictating your choices, maybe even your sense of self, it's thin.
It really is. So if you pull all this together, what we're essentially doing is creating these new human and machine cultures.
Human and machine cultures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our thinking, our decision-making, it's getting distributed across these, what the sources call complex human technical assemblages.
Or cognitive assemblages.
Right. Think about it. The choices we make aren't just made by us anymore. They're made by us, plus the algorithms and devices we're constantly interacting with.
So it's not just us acting in the world, it's us plus tech acting.
Precisely. And this fundamental shift in where agency actually lies, industries are all over it, especially when they're marketing these non-human agents.
Ah, the marketing angle.
Yeah, it's fascinating how the campaigns actively try to shape our perceptions. They often promote these sort of idealized social practices. We make claims about being ethical. It's all about subtly guiding us into accepting these blended realities.
So those corporate marketing videos become really revealing then. Our sources mention a study looking at how these AI inventions are pitched, like little Sophia from Hanson Robotics.
Right, pitched as this unique, programmable educational companion for kids.
Yeah.
But if you look closer, By using this sort of celebrity status of the original Sophia robot.
Oh, right.
It subtly normalizes the idea of a robot, not just as a tool, but as an autonomous social entity right there in your family, influencing how kids learn and interact.
Okay, I see that. What else?
Then there's the Waverly Labs ambassador. It promises a world without language barriers.
The universal translator dream.
Kind of. But it's not just about translation. It's selling the idea of effortlessly bridging cultural divides, basically delegating complex social negotiation to this mix of AI, neural nets, translators, earbuds, positioning the tech as this seamless social go-between.
Interesting.
Or the FOVE VR headset. It promises to unlock the essence of reality in virtual worlds, enable new forms of expressions, communication, and movement.
So there, the marketing is selling agency within an artificial space, suggesting a whole new way to interact and be.
Exactly. And the Xiaoyu robots by CanBot claiming to be a robot for your better life.
Right.
Automating teaching, learning, integrating with your smart home. Here, they're marketing the AI as this proactive agent in your house, taking on daily tasks, making decisions, basically framing it as a core part of your smart home environment.
And what about things like Iris.ai? That's for researchers, right?
Yeah, pitch is an AI science assistant to help deal with information overload. So the AI becomes like an intellectual partner, a cognitive extension managing complexity. It subtly blurs the lines of who's doing the actual research. And Mondly AR, the language learning app, promising to create a bridge between two worlds using augmented reality. It's selling this experience of effortless immersion, where the tech itself becomes the main way you access and understand another culture.
Wow. So the analysis of these ads shows they're not just selling gadgets.
Not at all. They're actively promoting idealized social practices for human-computer interaction and human-robot interaction.
And in learning specifically.
It's really noticeable there. AI systems often get framed as the authority figure, which subtly blurs and minimizes student and instructor agency because the AI is positioned as the primary source of knowledge or guidance.
Right. And it's important to remember these experiences they're promising rely on this whole package deal, right?
Absolutely. It's the embodied devices, the wearables, the robots. It's the complex AI itself, neural networks, speech recognition, and it's the whole internet infrastructure underneath, especially cloud computing. It's a massive ecosystem.
Which explains why we're seeing concepts like the digital employee emerge.
Exactly. Things like the Amelia integrated platform, or you hear about those high-tech hospital robots in Singapore.
Yeah.
And this evolution really underscores why human-centered design is so critical. As these AI employees become more common, we need to make sure they genuinely augment what humans do, not diminish our capabilities or our agency.
Okay, so that's the present, or near future. But moving further out, let's talk about the metaverse, which right now feels more like a big pitch, a dream. There's so much ambiguity.
Oh, definitely. It's still largely conceptual.
Yeah.
And the definitions you hear are all over the map.
Yeah, some people talk about a parallel digital reality for play, work, commerce.
Right. While others are more cautious, seeing it as maybe just a richer, more immersive version of what already exists today, the next step for the internet.
But even though it does not exist in any real capacity yet, there's huge corporate backing. Obviously, Zuckerberg renaming Facebook to Meta was the big signal.
Huge signal. And vast amounts of R&D money are pouring into these frontier technologies, all driven by this vision of what the metaverse could be.
So what would it actually take to build this thing? What kind of tech are we talking about?
Well, undeniably, it would require significant sensory enhancements. We'd need to move way beyond just looking at screens.
Okay, like what?
Well, consider the in-with soft contact lenses they showed off at CES 2022.
Contact lenses for the metaverse? Seriously?
That's the claim. They pitched it as potentially the most advanced platform for viewing the coming metaverse. The idea is a seamless transition between the real world and the metaverse just by wearing contacts.
Wow.
And this isn't totally out of the blue. The source mentions a smart contact lens industry timeline going back over a decade. It shows the long-term bet on really intimate augmentation.
Okay, so enhanced senses. What about the actual structure? How do you build these 3D worlds?
Right. For the developers listening, this is key.
Yeah.
The vision is that the metaverse will largely be built using Universal Scene Description, or USD.
USD, that came from Pixar, didn't it?
It did. And NVIDIA is really pushing it, calling it the HTML of 3D worlds. It's meant to be the standard language for creating and describing virtual objects and environments, which you need for things like NVIDIA's Omniverse platform. It's all about creating that common ground.
For interoperability, so different platforms can talk to each other.
Exactly. Interoperability for data exchange across these spatial computing platforms is absolutely crucial for any kind of shared metaverse.
And that leads to another big kind of speculative idea, the AR cloud.
Yeah, the AR cloud.
Right.
It's this vision of a shared multi-user environment, a global augmented reality, and essentially a real-time spatial map of the world.
A real-time map of the world overlaid with digital stuff.
Pretty much. The potential benefits could be huge, seamless shared experiences, information overlaid onto the world, but the risks are equally massive.
Like?
Well, pervasive surveillance, for one,
Yeah.
and unprecedented levels of corporate control over our shared reality. It's a big double-edged sword.
Definitely. And augmented reality, AR, seems fundamental here.
Absolutely. AR is a key building block. Unlike VR, which replaces your reality, AR blends virtual stuff with your physical space.
Right.
It augments or mixes reality.
So it overlays digital information onto what you already see.
Right. And its power comes from combining those virtual elements with our actual senses, sight, sound, maybe even touch, to create this really strong sense of virtual things being present in our world.
Okay.
Which is why many predict AR will become part of this full-scale ambient platform that eventually makes up the metaverse. It's the bridge.
Well, we have to temper this a bit, right? All these grand visions versus the reality today. I'm thinking of that Joanna Stern video where she spent 24 hours in VR.
Oh, yeah, trapped in the metaverse. That was great.
It really highlights the usability affordances, yes, but also the drawbacks of current VR hardware.
Totally. It's clunky. It can be isolating. The software isn't seamless. It's a stark reminder of how far the actual user experience is from the marketing hype.
Yeah, we're definitely not living in seamlessly integrated contact lenses just yet.
Not quite. There's still a lot of building to do.
So, okay, wrapping this up. We've covered a lot of ground today. We've really dived into how these augmentation technologies are becoming, enculturated, part of our lives.
And we've explored how the definition of agency itself is getting blurry between humans and AI.
Yeah, and dissected some of that persuasive marketing around non-human agents taking on these really intimate roles.
And then looked at the metaverse, this ambitious, maybe overhyped, but still influential vision for the future.
And understanding these dynamics, it really is crucial for you, listening right now, as you navigate this landscape that's just changing so quickly.
Yeah, it really boils down to cultivating digital literacy, thinking critically, so you can make informed choices about how technology fits into your life, rather than just letting it happen to you.
Absolutely. So maybe a final thought to leave everyone with.
Okay.
As technology gets better and better at adapting to us, sensing our emotions, learning from us, shaping our experiences, what new kinds of human interaction, maybe even new forms of identity, might start to emerge?
That's a big question.
And maybe more importantly, how much control will we really have left in these increasingly intimate relationships we're forming with technology?
How much agency do we retain in that dance? Something definitely worth thinking about.